Hi, this is Bill. And in this demo, I'll show you what is a reference qualifier in ServiceNow. I'll show you how to fully understand how it actually behaves in the platform and how it works using the three types, which is simple, dynamic, and advanced. This video is for ServiceNow administrators, developers, and architects who are working with reference fields different modules like ITSM, CMDB, and so on, and want to design the reference fields correctly and safely. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to clearly explain what a reference qualifier is, know when to use a reference qualifier, and avoid the most common architectural mistakes I see in real projects. And if you find this useful, consider subscribing and joining as a member of the channel to further support more deep dives into how the ServiceNow platform really works under the hood. So let's start with the correct definition in practical terms. So the reference qualifier is a mechanism under the ServiceNow dictionary. And we have another video which I started giving a clear context what a dictionary is. And the reference qualifier that you see here at the middle is a component of the dictionary. And right now, to give you a further understanding, a reference qualifier is part of a form. And as you saw that we drilled down to the caller field, so the caller field is part of the incident form. And the incident form is what you see here, which is under the incident table. And inside the incident module or the form, you will have different fields. And this example, which is the user that you see here, referencing to a user table. So you are basically pointing to a list of records. So you have list of records and also a list of fields. Now to correctly show the integrity or the behavior of the form, and in this example, you like the name to be displayed. So you are managing the display value. And at the same time, you are also managing what records to basically display inside the field. So right now you have one record that you need to choose to multiple records, but you only need to display one. So meaning this is a 1:1 relationship. And as we scroll down right now, so let me clear the screen for better visibility. This is using the type simple, and the type simple, which is pointing to the table user, it only shows all users which are active. And eventually you are already adding a filter. So meaning you could add more conditions, and this can be a possibility of a filter on a certain business unit or department. So depending on the business requirement. And for simplicity, these users are only true. So let us prove that concept by going back to the main form. And as we drill down to do a search in the user table, which you see in the top left, right now you have 37 records. And as we do a filter, let's say all active is true and do run it. So right now it's still 37 records. And let's add another filter. So let's say first name probably contains, for simplicity, CH. So let's run that. And you will see there will be only 4 records left. And now let us apply that filter inside the reference qualifier, which is simple, by drilling down to configure your dictionary. And let's add that filter here. And let's say first name, let's type it correctly, contains CH. And now let us make sure that this is saved correctly. And let us go back to the main form and let us prove that concept that it should show the same amount of records that we did the filter earlier. So now you can see that's the simple approach where you do a filter using the conditions on the field and the value aspect. Now let us go back to the dictionary and I'll explain to you what has just happened. So right now in the simple aspect, so we had the form and we had the field, which is the display value. And we did the filter on the field level. So you have the database or the data model, which contains the different records. And as it passes the list of records, it has used this condition builder to display the results. So now let us move to the dynamic to give you a better understanding the main difference of the simple and also the dynamic. So now let us navigate to the reference qualifier and change it to dynamic. So now as we drill down to references, so there's a good example here out of the box in ServiceNow, which is using label PA contributors. So inside the PA contributors, as we drill down to the actual record itself, it will contain a script under script includes. So meaning is like in every load of the form, it creates a new instance calling this object in the script includes. And as it calls its object, it has a method, a JavaScript function that calls a script or glide record script on this aspect, which is get contributors. So dynamically what it does, as I draw the form again, you will have the field in the incident table, incident form, then you have the database, and this script, which is running on the server side, which is script includes, will do a call to the database and goes back with a query and feed the necessary information to the field value to provide the necessary results. So the main advantage of this approach is, since it is a script include, it is globally reusable. You can use that as your data architecture, since you are representing a business requirement and a business model. So meaning the script that you utilize is reusable in different forms if you're managing multiple forms, and you can only feed, or you feed the necessary information that is needed in this business process. And that becomes very powerful. Instead of managing it only on the client side, you get to have the opportunity to look after it in a global aspect, which becomes a utility into your entire ecosystem. Now, to prove that theory, let us basically go to the script includes, which contains this name PA utils. So let us copy that and let's go to script include. And as we drill down to under system definition, let us try to paste it and put an asterisk to ensure that we basically get to drill down to the right object. So now let us do a search on get contributors and let us make our screen bigger for better visibility. And now you will see that it is calling a glide record object on this table. And as it filters out, it returns an array of objects. And the array will contain the value of a role name contributor inside the user table. So now as it returns, it already converts the list into a string of array. So to be able to prove that, let's copy this code and run it inside script's background to prove the theory. Then just to test it, now let us paste it here since we are not running a method anymore. So let us do a gs.print and wrap this into a parentheses to ensure correctness. And now as you can see, it's doing a concatenation. So let's add some space for further readability. And let us ensure that the structure is correct. And let us run the script. And now you will see that it has pulled out two records from the glide record call. And let us prove that theory by going back to the form inside the incident module. And let us right click and drill down to the dictionary and ensure that we are using the dynamic approach. And let us scroll down and change this to dynamic. And let us choose the script that is calling on the server side. And let us save this one. And this should only appear or produce two records as we drill down to the form itself. So let us go back to the form. Let's go drill down to one of the records and let's see how it behaves. And right now you will see there's only two records. So for clarity, let us do a filter and you will see that only two records has now appeared to the record. Now, as we have proved this theory, let us drill down to the third one, which is the advanced. If you see value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join as a member to have early access to tutorials like this and to further support my channel. Now, as we scroll down to the reference specification and go to advanced, you will see that in the reference qualifier, you will have the ability to add filters here as well. So now there's kind of like similarity in a way, but you can call a JavaScript instance from the field itself. So the key differences here is like you can call a script inside this text field and get the necessary results or filter that we also applied in the dynamic type qualifier. So let us save this context and go back to the main form. And this should behave the same as we have did in the dynamic type. So let us remove this filter and ensure that we're doing it correctly. And you can see that it also resulted to 2 records. So in summary, a reference qualifier is a filter of selectable records. So it enforces data integrity. So you only show the correct records which is applicable to your form. And you have 3 types. And I further recommend that you manage it dynamically into a central place where it becomes a utility and a reusable component, where it becomes simple and easy to maintain. And imagine that if you are using simple in so many fields, then it becomes hard to maintain. Since you have so many fields, so many forms, then the person next to you who will be looking after the platform will become catastrophic in finding where it is configured. So in terms of use case, we use simple for static rules, dynamic for contextual and reusable logic, and advanced only when a computation is unavoidable. For more ServiceNow deep dives that go beyond definitions and explain real platform behavior, subscribe and consider joining as a member. Thanks for watching. And I'd like to ask you, how are you currently using reference qualifiers in your environment, and where have they caused confusion or any performance issues?